Alright, what's up everyone? Hector Magical here again, and some of you might have seen that Nintendo and Pokemon Company announced a Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire remake today, which is Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. And it'll be on the 3DS, and it releases this year in November, so 2014, worldwide, so you won't have to wait, like sometimes the older games, they always came out in Japan before everybody else, except for X and Y, that released worldwide all at the same time. So it's going to be very, very exciting. A lot of people have been waiting for this. The original Ruby and Sapphire released in 2002 in Japan and in 2003 in other Western countries on the Game Boy Advance. It was the very first Pokemon game on the Game Boy Advance. And a lot of people have been waiting for this remake. Some usually because they just, want to replay the old games in the newer graphics and stuff. I personally have been waiting for it because the older Ruby and Sapphire still use the old battle system, because once they switched to Generation 4, they completely redid the battle system. Like, all the different type elements were changed into physical, special, and status moves, but before that, like, all ghost moves were physical, all fire moves were special, and it was really, really tough to put around a moveset for one of the first starters, Torchic, Combuskin, Blaziken. He was fire and fighting. Fire is special, fighting is physical. So you had to kind of pick and choose which way you wanted to go, unless you wanted to be kind of both, but not superior to one or the other, if that makes sense. So, of course, it's going to be a remake, uses the whole 3D engine, probably just like X and Y. But a lot of people are still speculating what's going to be in, what's going to be left over. And if you look at Heart Gold and Soul Silver, that remake of Gold and Silver, they kept pretty much everything in, the original mechanics and stuff, but did a few tweaks here and there, added a few other things. Like, all the same HMs were in there, the hidden machines, so there's like Whirlpool and Waterfall and all that stuff to get around the land. And all the gym leaders were the same, they had the same Pokemon, but the moves were switched up to, reflect the new battle system. So we're probably going to see some new moves for Ruby and Sapphire's gym leaders and different trainers and all that stuff. And then that one dude in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, his name was like Uacine or something like that. He was actually in Crystal, but they put him in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Kind of like, I don't know, so they didn't have to remake Crystal as well. And then they had the whole Battle Frontier in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which was not in the original Gold and Silver. So you have to wonder what they're going to bring into Ruby and Sapphire. I would really like them to bring the whole Battle Frontier from Emerald into the Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. But I guess we're going to have to wait and see. Because X and Y didn't even really have much to do after you beat the Pokemon League. You did have that little Battle Chateau thingy, or... No, that was... Well, you did have that, but there was a different one, the Battle Mason. I'm not sure how you might pronounce it because it's supposed to be a French word. I don't know anything about French. But it was just basically a battle tower that you just fought guys in a line. And it was alright, but it wasn't good enough. The Battle Frontier had a bunch of different buildings and different rules, different battle styles, and all that stuff. So hopefully that'll come into the Ruby and Sapphire remakes, but who knows, maybe not. And so of course it's gonna revolve around Groudon for Ruby and Kyogre for Sapphire. I'm really excited to see the whole battle system improvement into this one. That's basically the main reason I wanted the Ruby and Sapphire remakes, but that's also the reason why I still want a Red and Blue remake, because now, since Ruby and Sapphire is going to be remade, the Kanto region is going to be the only one that hasn't been remade with the new battle system, unless you count Gold and Silver's Kanto region, but that's different. That was a sequel type thingy. And so, a lot of people are still, speculating, because there wasn't any information, just a little quick trailer saying, oh, Ruby and Sapphire is being remade, it's coming November. That's basically all that was said. So people are wondering if the secret bases are going to come back, because remember when you use that secret power move on little indents in the wall, you can make this little secret base somewhere in the world, and then you can buy furniture and put it in your little secret base and stuff like that. So I'd like to see that come back, and maybe, you know, connect with some people over Wi-Fi and do things like that. But who knows what's going to happen. And so, you know, we don't really know any much, so I'm kind of speculating here. Alright, also guys, I forgot to mention, since X and Y introduced the whole Mega Evolved Pokemon, we are going to now have about 8 Pokemon from the Hoenn region that have Mega Evolutions. We don't know if any more are going to have any Mega Evolutions. We're going to have to wait and see, but there are 8 of them, and I have a list over here. It's Absol, Aggron, Blaziken, of course. You would think that since Blaziken is one of the starters, that they would give the other starters Mega Evolutions to kind of balance it out for everybody. The other starters in Hoenn, I mean. And then there's that, how do you pronounce it? Banette? I was never sure. Banette. And then there's Gardevoir. Remember your one of your rivals, what was his name? I want to say Wallace, but I don't think it was. Who's your rival? Well, speaking of rivals in Ruby and Sapphire, your Ruby and Sapphire was really the first game that had a really crappy rival, because, you know, there was Brendan and May as the main characters. You pick one, the other one would be your rival, and you never even fought them with their fully evolved starter Pokemon, and they're always trying to help you out, like, here you go man, here's some items. When your first rival, you know, Blue, when you're Red, he was always just like one step ahead of you, and even beat the Pokemon League before you, and was just like railing on you with his Pokemon, you know what I'm saying? I need to stop saying that. Wally, that's what it is. It wasn't Wallace, it was Wally. Anyways, remember his starter Pokemon was Ralts, and so it's going to be all the way up to Gardevoir, and if Mega Evolutions are going to be popping up in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, then he's probably going to have a Mega Gardevoir. What else was there? Manectric. I believe that was a Hoenn Pokemon. So he has Mega Evolution. Number 310, yeah, I'm pretty sure. And Mawile. Was Medicham? 308, yeah, I'm pretty sure Medicham. And I guess that's it. So those Pokemon will have Mega Evolutions in Ruby and Sapphire. You probably won't even get them till the end of the Ruby and Sapphire game, because hopefully they don't come until the end of the Ruby and Sapphire game. Personally, I would like if you just go through the whole Ruby and Sapphire and it's as much like the original as possible, and then at the end they're like, oh, here's Mega Evolved Pokemon, here's all the other fancy stuff, and of course the National Dex. And I really do hope that they keep some of the events from the original Ruby and Sapphire into the remakes, you know, like that one island with Mew on it, and then of course that island with the other Latios or Latias, because remember, once you saw one in the wild, or I think you get to choose it once you see it on TV, the other one will appear on the island and then be holding a Soul Dew, which powers up the special attack and special defense, I believe, of that Pokemon. And then, of course, there was that island for Deoxys, and I think there were some other islands. I'm not 100% sure. I think there was that naval island for Ho and Lugia, but I think that might have only been in Emerald. So let's hope that they do have some of those special events from Emerald and put it in the Ruby and Sapphire remakes. We're still waiting on the special events for X and Y. There's supposed to be that Diancie Pokemon coming out sometime. I don't know when, but sometime. They just said stay tuned and all that stuff. So I just want to add that little thing at the end of this video. And that's about it. So yeah, so give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't like it, and leave a comment with your speculations for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Let's get a little, conversation going.